friends, welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. In today's video, you will learn about the past perfect tense. This is part of our lessons in the series of English grammar lessons aimed at teaching you how to use the English tenses correctly. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell icon as well so that whenever a new video is uploaded on this channel, you will be instantly notified. Without much ado, let's dive into the lesson. First, we look at the agenda for today's episode. Number 1, what is past perfect tense? 2, why is it important to learn the past perfect tense? 3, how does the past perfect tense differ from the simple past tense? 4, the structure of the past perfect tense. And 5, when and how do we use the past perfect tense? We are going to look at this one by one. What is the past perfect tense? The past perfect tense is a verb tense used to talk about something that happened before a given point in the past. It is called a past in the past or a past of the past. We use it to talk about an action that was completed before something else happened. All right? Now, imagine calling the family doctor to attend to your sick grandmother. Imagine that grandma died before the doctor arrived. How do you talk about these two things that happened in the past? Well, you need to use the past perfect tense to talk about the one that happened first, and then use the simple past tense to talk about the one that happened later. For example, grandma had died before the doctor arrived, or when the doctor arrived, grandma had died. So in any case, we are using had died, which is the past perfect tense, to report the one that occurred first, which is the death of grandma. All right? All right, so now, number 2, why is it important to learn the past perfect tense? Learning the past perfect tense will help you to talk about things that happened in the past in a much more fascinating and effective way. You know, what the past perfect tense does is that it enables you to express your ideas with more clarity. Because from the example given, you will see that sometimes we need to talk about 2 or more things that happened in the past, and then the past perfect tense enables us to express these actions in the sequence, you know, this sequence of events, and we can indicate which action came first and which one came second. The past perfect tense enables us to do this with greater clarity. All right, now consider our previous example. Grandma had died before the doctor arrived. Here you are talking about something in the past in connection with something else that had happened even earlier. Okay, 2 things, and then you are talking about one in connection with the other, and one thing happened before the other. So the past perfect tense helps you to report the sequence of events in a clearer and more specific way. All right, that's what the past perfect tense enables you to do in speech and in writing. Now, how does the past perfect tense differ from the simple past tense? In the description box, you will find a link that will give you access to the video that discusses the 12 tenses in English. There are 12 tenses, and Among them is the simple past. Among them also is the past perfect tense. But the question here is, how does the past perfect tense differ from the simple past tense? Both of them can be used to talk about things that happened in the past, but how does the past perfect differ from the simple past? Now let's look at it. Let's use our previous example to explain the difference. Let's assume that the two past events happened as follows. Number one, grandma died at 6 p.m. 2, the family doctor arrived at 8 p.m. We have talked about the two separate events and we have indicated when they occurred, the specific time they happened, using the simple past tense. You know, the first incident is about, grandma died at 6 p.m. Then the other one is about the doctor. The doctor arrived at 8 p.m. So died at 6 p.m., arrived at 8 p.m. These are the two things. And the simple past tense has enabled us to report these events in separate sentences, indicating the specific time that they occurred. Now, what the past perfect tense can help us to do differently is that it can help us to report the two events in one sentence, showing which event happened first. For example, grandma had died before the family doctor arrived. It can also allow us to rearrange our ideas by rearranging the events. We can restructure the sentence. We can, change the word order. For example, instead of saying grandma had died before the doctor arrived, we can as well say when the family doctor arrived, grandma had died. And you will notice that whether we indicate the event that happened first in the first, whether we indicate it first in our sentence or we make it the latter part of our sentence, using the past perfect enables us to indicate that that was exactly what happened first. It doesn't matter whether it comes at the beginning of the sentence or the ending of the sentence. All right. So in this way, you can see that using the past perfect tense enables us to specify the sequence of events and the chronology. It enables us to talk about its chronology, which one happened first and which one happened later. All right. Now, number 4, we are going to look at the structure of the past perfect tense. All right. Now, look at the structure here. We use specifically the past form of have, which is had, and we combine it with the past participle of the verb. And that gives us the structure of, the past perfect tense. For example, had written. And so in a sentence, when you have the subject, I had written, we had done, they had arrived, he had worked, she had traveled, you had left, it had disappeared. So this actually is always the structure. Had spoken, had written, had eaten, had played. You take the past form of have, which is had, and you combine it with the past participle of a verb, and that gives you the structure of the past perfect tense. All right. So having looked at the structure, then let's look at when and how we can use the past perfect tense. When and how do we exactly use the past perfect tense? Number 1, we use the past perfect tense to talk about 2 or more things that happened a short while ago. For example, before we woke up, Mary has swept the house. Something that happened a while ago, just before we woke up. The action of her sweeping the house occurred just a little while ago. Before we woke up, Mary had swept the house. So two things happened. You know, Mary swept the house and then we woke up. And then we use the past perfect tense here to talk about what happened first. You know, Mary has swept the house before we woke up. Before we woke up, Mary has swept the house. Now, the example B, after we had arranged the seats, we waited for the guests. Two things here. We waited for the guests and we arranged the seat. But because arranging the seat actually came first, we used the past perfect tense to talk about it. After we had arranged the seats, we waited for the guests. The arranging the seats happened just a little while ago. Then we waited for the guests. All right. Then example C, she began to cook the meat when she had brought back, which she had brought back from the market. You see, beginning to cook the meat is one action. Then bringing back the meat from the market is another action. But because bringing the meat back from the market happened first, we use the past perfect tense to talk about it. All right, so we say that she began to cook the meat which she had brought back from the market. All right, then the second thing is that we can use the past perfect tense to talk about two or more things that happened a long time ago. All right. For example, well, let me use the highlighter here. I mean the. All right. Okay. Now, Susan had obtained her first degree before she traveled to London for the masters. You know, she had obtained her first degree. That's the first thing that happened before she traveled to London for the masters. Example B, Michael was born in 1971. All right, that one action that happened. By then or before then, if you like, the Civil War had ended. So the first thing that happened was that the Civil War had ended. That was the first thing that happened, and then Michael was born. So these two things happened, but the one that came first was the end of the Civil War. Then example C, by the time Julia married Jude, she had completed, of course, this is a typo here. Well, let's try to. So let's cancel this. All right. Let's also cancel this. And then let's put hard here. Well, use actually is right. All right. Let's use this. Let's use this hard, and let's just cancel the completed here. So we cancel completed. Okay. Let's cancel completed and cancel her. Then we leave her. You know, by the time Julian married Jude, she had obtained her doctorate degree. You know, marrying Jude happened in the past. Obtaining her doctorate degree also happened in the past. But obtaining her doctorate degree rather came first. All right. Another thing that happened before her marriage was securing a job as a lecturer at UNILAG. So we also use the past perfect. She had also secured a job as a lecturer at UNILAG. So we use the past perfect tense for these two actions that came before her marriage. All right, so that is exactly how we use the past perfect tense. Okay, so let's wipe these marks and then we go to the next way of using when and how we use the past perfect tense. Number 3, we will use the past perfect tense in reported speech. The simple past tense in direct speech should be converted into the past perfect tense when used in reported speech. If you are conversant with reported speech, you were taught in the lower classes, you were taught direct and indirect speech. The indirect speech is reported speech. When you are saying what someone said using the speaker's direct words, that is called direct speech. But when you report what someone else said in your own words, that is reported speech. And there are rules that govern such reportage. When you report what someone has said in your own words, one of the rules is that when someone says something using the simple past, when you report it, you change the simple past to the past perfect tense. All right, so we are going to upload a video in reported speech, and we shall discuss details of these rules. All right, but let's look at this particular rule we have stated here. The simple tense in direct speech should be converted into perfect tense when used in reported or indirect speech. Now let's look at example. All right, now example A, the direct speech here. Debbie said to me, "Did you buy the book?" Look, consider Debbie's, direct words. Did you buy the book? She used the simple past here. Did you? She is referring to something that happened in the past. All right. So when we change this to reported speech, what do we have? Debbie asked me whether I had bought the book. All right. So let's use the yellow to indicate the reported speech here. All right. I shouldn't really cancel it, but indicate, probably underline it with yellow. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So Debbie asked me whether I had bought the book. Did you buy the book? So that is the way to report it. Then let's look at the second example here. Direct speech. Jack said, "My mother died when I was still a child." This was what Jack said directly. If we report this in our own words, what do we have? Jack said that his mother had died when he was still a child. That his mother had died. We change died to had died. So, and that is exactly how we use the past perfect tense in reported speech. This is exactly where we are going to draw the curtain in today's video. We have been looking at English tenses, specifically the past perfect tense. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like the video and share the video with your friends and relations. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be notified instantly. I want to thank you for being part of today's video. If you have any comments, any concerns, any questions, or any suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. I want you to know that you all are highly valued. All of you out there who have given this video, this channel massive support, I want to say a big thank you to all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye for now.